Chicago and the Philippines. A comprehensive review of the week's special community events, featuring many exciting personalities, handled by the most professional Chicago Philippine Reports TV staff.
Good afternoon and welcome to the Chicago Philippine Reports TV, still the #1 Filipino show in the Midwest. I'm Girly Pascual. Welcome to our show. Today we have all the top stories from the Philippines. We also have what's happening in our own Filipino-American community of Chicago. We have interesting interviews led by our very own executive producer, Miss Veronica Layton. We have Bridget Cotero Carino. All these are coming up and more. Afterward from our sponsors, please stay with us.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
President Marcos Jr. on Labor Day says there is a need for a careful study of the proposed legislated increase in wages, citing its impact to businesses and the economy. The Philippine leader made a statement as he led a celebration of the 123rd Labor Day celebration in Pasay City. Marcos Jr., however, assured Filipino workers government is hearing their calls for better wages, saying their concerns are being addressed through regional tripartite wages and productivity boards across the country.
Sa usapin naman ng pagtaas ng sweldo, masarap pakinggan ang matatamis na mga pangako. Ngunit ang mga ito ay may epekto sa paglago ng negosyo, trabaho at ekonomiya. Kaya't kailangan na pag-aralan natin ng mabuti.
At least 16 regions nationwide have implemented minimum wage increases since June of last year, according to Marcos.
We hear the call of our workers for better wages and assure you that your concerns are being addressed through the regional tripartite wages and productivity boards. The government stands firm in its commitment to protecting and advancing workers' welfare while promoting inclusive economic development.
Groups have earlier called on Marcos to certify as urgent the proposed 200 peso legislated wage increase to help workers deal with rising prices of goods and services. In Labor Day protests held Thursday, thousands of demonstrators from the National Wage Coalition reiterated their demand for living wages. They also appealed for security of tenure and a dialogue with the president.
Yung 200 dagdag sahod, araw-araw ay maisabatas na. Kasi 3 taon na po, Mr. President, na walang dialogo between the labor leaders and the President.
Ang pangunahing issue ng mga manggagawa ay sobrang baba ng sahod, pero sobra-sobra yung pagsirit ng presyo ng bilihin.
The protesters tried to advance to Mendiola near the presidential palace, but they were blocked by authorities. Meantime, the Labor Department says RTWPBs across the country will begin reviewing wage rates in compliance with the directive of President Marcos on Labor Day.
Bilang direktiba po ng Pangulo, ang ating pong mga regional tripartite wage and productivity boards ay magsisimula na po sa kanilang pagre-review ng kanilang wage rates kasama po ang mga sektor ng labor at employer at iba pang mga ahensya po ng pamahalaan.
Labor Secretary Bienvenido Laguesma says the Regional Wage Board in NCR is set to begin its review for another minimum wage hike this May ahead of the first anniversary of the last wage order in July.
Sa kalagitnaan po ng buwan ng Mayo, magsisimula na yung proseso may kinalaman sa public consultation, public hearing at definitely magkakaroon po ng determinasyon kung magkano po ang pwedeng adjustment.
Meanwhile, the Department of Labor and Employment announced that it has allocated a total 2.57 billion pesos in assistance under its Integrated Livelihood and Emergency Employment Program for Labor Day. The program, which consists of the Tulong Panghanap Buhay sa Ating Disadvantaged Workers or TUPAD and the DOLE Integrated Livelihood Program, is expected to help more than 400,000 Filipinos nationwide.
The Philippine National Police on Thursday cleared the son of Chinese businessman An Sun-ke of any involvement in his father's kidnapping and killing following an extrajudicial confession of one of the arrested suspects. David Tan Liao had accused Alvin Ke of ordering him to abduct and kill his father. But PNP spokesperson Police Brigadier General Jean Fajardo said Liao had no proof that would link the younger Ke to the crime.
There are no corroborating evidence that would link Alvin Ke sa kidnapping and eventual pagpatay po ng tatay po nila.
The police official made it clear that it was not the PNP that released a copy of Liao's extrajudicial confession to the media or the public. Fajardo asserts this sensitive document was supposed to be confidential. Liao's extrajudicial confession, which implicated Alvin Ke to the crime, first came out in a news report.
Hindi po sa CIDG, hindi po sa PNP, at hindi lalo po sa side namin, dito po sa PIO at sa spokesperson, naglabas po ng anumang kopya po ng extrajudicial confession. We are not stupid enough para ilabas po ito. Katulad ng sinasabi po nila na stupido po kaming lahat para ilabas po yun. Hindi po kami ang naglabas noon. With due respect po doon sa reporter po na nag-cover po at naglabas po noon, we encouraging them na ilabas po nila kung sino yung source na sinasabi po nila na PNP officials na nagbigay po sa kanila ng kopya. Because we will not tolerate it. The chief PNP is very mad. Galit po si Chief PNP. Kung sino po ang naglabas niyan right here, right now, sabihin niyo po yung pangalan, kakasuhan po namin at i-dismiss po yan sa serbisyo.
Fajardo maintains the PNP is not taking Liao's testimony at face value, and they are fully aware the suspect could be trying to mislead investigators to avoid criminal liability. Liao surrendered to police on April 19 following the arrest of his Filipino cohorts, Richardo Austria and Raymart Catequista in Rojas, Palawan. A 5 million peso reward, meanwhile, is being offered for information leading to the whereabouts of another suspect in the kidnap slay, Kelly Tan Lim, also known as Gong Wen Lee.
For all we know, ay minamadel niya yung investigation para hindi natin matumbok yung ibang mga kasamahan niya and possibly mastermind behind not just this kidnapping case of Anson Dan, but pati na rin po yung ibang mga kidnapping case.
The PNP anti-kidnapping group will submit before the Department of Justice on Friday a motion to amend the complaint to remove the name of the younger Ke in the list of respondents in the kidnap slay case.
The family, at least the side of Mr. Alvin Ke, was already informed of the intention of the PNP to amend the complaint, removing the name, requesting for the removal of Alvin Ke's name from the list of the respondents.
Meanwhile, the lawyer of Alvin Ke welcomed the PNP statement, clearing him of any involvement in the case. Anson Ke and his driver were found dead in Rodriguez Rizal on April 9, more than a week after they were reported missing. A ransom of $20 million was demanded by abductors, and the family eventually paid 200 million pesos in cryptocurrency in multiple tranches. Despite this, the victims were killed.
Vice President Sara Duterte suspects the probe ordered by President Ferdinand Marcos Jr. into Prime Water, a water utility owned by her ally, the Villars, is politically motivated. The probe comes after a barrage of complaints from residents in Bulacan over their poor service. Aspiring Senator Camille Villar, who is part of the administration's Senate slate, was recently endorsed by Duterte.
Malamang, dahil lahat naman ng galawan ngayon ng administrasyon ay dahil sa politika. So wala na akong nakita na ginawa ng administrasyon na ito para sa kapayapaan at kaunlaran ng ating bayan. Kundi lahat ay pag-atake lang sa politika at sa mga taong hindi nila kaya takutin at hindi nila kaya bilhin.
ABS-CBN News visited a community in San Jose del Monte, Bulacan to check on residents who lamented the absence of a steady supply of water amid sweltering heat.
Dati, nung sa water district, 2 to 3 in one day ang pagpapaligo namin. Pero ngayon, sa prime water, every other day. Sobrang hirap. Ang kamay namin, hindi kamay babae. Kamay lalaki kasi bakit? Sa pagbuhat ng container.
Another resident complained of continuous basic charges and maintenance fees despite not having consumed water from March to April.
Hindi ko babayaran yan, sir. Wala naman kami nagamit na tubig, ba't babayaran namin? Yan ang gusto namin maalis, sir, yung minimum na yan. Panggigipit sa tao, sir. Pagpapahirap lalo kasi doble ang binabayaran namin.
The local government of San Jose del Monte says the issue of water is a private matter between Prime Water and San Jose Water. Nevertheless, they are doing what they can to ease their constituents' burden of having to live without the precious resource.
Meron po tayong almost 10 water lorries na nagtutulong-tulong every day po na nagrarasyon for the past couple of years. Kasi yung pong iba nating constituents, madaling araw pa lang, naghihintay na. Kasi minsan po, yung prime water, madaling araw lang may tumutulo dun sa mga gripo. Minsan naman, ang kulay ng tubig, kulay bura.
Perez says they have also summoned Prime Water and the local water district to determine ways to improve services.
Prime Water naman keeps on telling that this is a technical issue. According to them, sa laki po ng San Jose, nahihirapan din po sila. And again, it's an infrastructure issue na they really need to improve.
Bayan Muna welcomed the investigation into Prime Water, saying it is a step in the right direction. Meanwhile, a consumer group also called for a swift resolution on the matter.
I think it's really about time to review the joint venture agreement, and we really support the call of the President. Malaki na yung paghihirap, pagdurusan ng ating mga consumers, especially yung mga customers ng Prime Water. So sana mabigyan ng agarang action kasi mahirap din naman ng, di ba, nagbabayad ka, tapos yung serbisyo ay hindi sapat na nakukuha mo mula sa Prime Water.
ABS-CBN News has repeatedly sought the side of Prime Water, but the company did not answer our calls.
5 vehicles were involved in a violent collision Thursday at the Esitex Exit Toll Plaza in Tarlac City. 10 people were killed, 4 of them children, while 37 others were injured and currently receiving treatment at a hospital. According to the Tarlac City Police, a Solid North bus traveling northbound rammed a van from behind, causing it to smash into 3 other vehicles which were in line waiting to pass through the toll plaza.
Yung pong 4 na sasakyan, nakapila na po doon sa Esitex sa toll plaza, sa toll booth. And then yun pong pang-5 sasakyan, ito po yung Solid North Transit bus. Mabilis po yung takbo niya at binangga po niya yung mga nakapilang 4 na sasakyan.
According to police, the driver may have fallen asleep on the wheel. Transportation Secretary Vince Tizon has ordered the Land Transportation Franchising and Regulatory Board to issue a preventive suspension order against a Solid North bus in response to the incident. LTFRB Chair Teofilo Guadi says he already instructed the Passenger Accident Management and Insurance Agency to immediately address the needs of those who are involved in the road crash and to start identifying the victims to indemnify their families. The driver is now in the custody of the Tarlac Police and may face charges of reckless imprudence resulting in multiple homicides, multiple physical injuries, and multiple damage to property. The police continue their investigation in the incident and are currently coordinating with the families of the victims.
Yan! Dito na! Perfect!
Do you need to get your hands on some extra money right now? Maybe $25,000 or more? If you're a homeowner, now is the perfect time to get cash out. While homes in many neighborhoods like yours have gone up in value, you can use the money for anything. It's yours. You can buy an investment property, pay for college, pay off higher interest debt, or make home improvements. A cash out refinance is the perfect solution to get the cash you need. If you need $25,000, $50,000, or even $100,000, now's the time. Home values are up, and so is your equity. We offer you a way to use it. No need to sell your home or use your savings. Call New American Funding now and speak to a cash out refi specialist and see how much cash out you can get.
Call New American Funding at 855-332-3929. That's 332 3929. Call 855 332 3929.
Via Times, vital news, vibrant views for the Filipino Asian communities in Chicago. Via Times for your most interesting and exciting reading and your party coverages. Via Times has very interesting columnists. You name it, Via Times has it. Law, Filipino news, dentistry, immigration, humor, serious opinions, health, beauty, mysticism, Bata Corner, showbiz, and intelligently written editorials. Call Via Times at 773-866-0811.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting, exciting guest and she is a writer and author and I really love to welcome Miss Sarah Owais. Right? Did I say your name right?
You got it right. Yeah. Thank you so much for having me. I'm really, really happy to be here.
Because I sometimes some people correct me to say it Weiss. Okay. You're
Okay.
Sarah Weiss, Weiss. And Sarah is an author and she is also a college writing consultant.
That's right.
Okay. What college?
Well, I right now I'm doing consulting for AWC. I've worked at West Point. I've had some experience working in different colleges, and I used to teach high school English as well for a number of years in Massachusetts. So I really enjoy working with people, helping them with writing and teaching. It's a lot of fun.
Okay, great. Thank you. Welcome to our show, Sarah.
Thank you so much.
Sarah will be talking about Caitlin Clark, author Caitlin Clark, and she would like to discuss why she wrote about that book about Caitlin Clark. She's a very popular author who wrote about something about basketball too, right?
Yes.
Okay. All right. Welcome to our show, Sarah. Okay. Why? First things first. Okay. Tell us about a little bit about your background.
Sure. Yeah. So as I mentioned, I've done some teaching, teach English in both high school and college. I've always loved writing. I've done some writing for a podcast about real life inspirational people. And this project is kind of the next step for me. I'm going to hold up a little copy of the book. This is a book I wrote called The Totally Awesome World of Caitlin Clark. And she is a basketball player for the WNBA. She played in the NCAA. She played college basketball in Iowa, the University of Iowa. And I just really enjoyed writing this book about her and her rise to fame and how she's a role model in so many ways and she's broken so many records. Yeah, so it's just I loved getting the chance to write this book and learn a little bit more about Caitlin Clark.
Okay, amazing. Oh, well, this book is more or less directed to
middle grade, yeah,
middle school students.
Mm-hmm.
And why is Caitlin is she originated from that school, a particular school that she wrote about?
Yeah, so she grew up in Iowa, in West Des Moines, Iowa, and the book is directed, as you mentioned, to really 8 to 12-year-olds around that age group, and Caitlin Clark, has always cared so much about her Iowa community. She does a lot for her community, and I know that there are so many fans in Iowa that are rooting for her. Um, but yeah, I did learn a little bit about, who she was when she was in elementary school and middle school, and I'm hoping that um, some of the stories and anecdotes that I tell in the book about her early life will resonate with some of the readers. Because I think people really see her as such a superstar, and kind of superhuman. And so the hope is that by learning about how she was a perfectionist when she was a kid and very competitive, had a hard time losing at any game. Um, and her gym teacher in elementary school called her parents in for a conference to talk about how she was a little too intense in gym class. So we see her as this star now, but it was exciting to learn about the traits of hers that she had as a kid that could be seen as weaknesses in some other ways, but she's really channeled all these qualities into basketball, into a sport that she loves. And I think there are kids that can relate to that feeling, maybe have a hard time losing or feel like a perfectionist and want things to always go their way. And hopefully when they read this kind of thing about this superstar, they'll learn that they too can channel their all of their qualities into their passions and turn them into superpowers too.
I want to know, are you a basketball fan?
Yeah, so I played a little bit of basketball growing up. I mainly played other sports. I played field hockey and lacrosse. I do enjoy watching sports, but I'm really not a basketball expert. And that, in a way, is the exciting thing about being a writer. I've had the chance to explore these worlds that I might not know that much about to start, and do all the research and learn everything I can. And get to explore that new world and write about it. So, now I definitely know a lot more about basketball, and I love tuning in to watch the, March Madness and the professional games, because I think women's basketball is just so exciting to watch.
What um what kind of lesson do you want to project for writing this book?
Yeah, I hope that kids will, as I mentioned, uh, see this kind of role model. And I hope the book will humanize her a little bit for kids so they can see that, hey, maybe I have qualities like that too. And I can turn that into a strength. I hope they will see that some of these things she does look like magic. The way she passes the ball, the way she has such intuition and creativity on the court, and she can launch these, they're called logo shots, or really long 3-point shots that she takes from nearly at mid-court. And it looks like magic. But, in this book, talk a lot about her kind of technique, her practice routine, shooting over 300 three-pointers a day, and launching these 3 free throws. And she's in the gym. She's learning how to build chemistry with her teammates, um, and this is something that she's been doing since she was a kid, in her driveway, shooting baskets and having to make a certain number of shots before she could come inside. So I'm hoping they'll both see that she's relatable and also understand that in order to accomplish a dream like this, it does take a lot of hard work and tenacity and determination in order to do that.
Well, in the real world, can you please share with us what is Caitlin Clark doing now in her life?
Yeah, so she's heading into her second year in the WNBA for the Indiana Fever. And just a little background, and maybe a lot of listeners know this or maybe not, but she had such an amazing college career. I mean, in her academics, she focused on communications, and she's done a lot of work to help uh, a local food drive to help her community. And now she has all of these brand and sponsorship deals with Nike and Gatorade. But in her time in college, she her senior year became the all-time leading scorer for both men's and women's teams, breaking the record for NCAA Division I basketball. And there has been such a massive, she's made such a massive impact on the sport. You know, they call it the Caitlin Clark effect. Her senior year, the national championship game drew over 18 million viewers, which set viewership records for both men's and women's teams. So she came out of college with that. And then, of course, there's a lot of expectations for her heading into the WNBA. Is she going to be able to do just as well? You know, is she going to continue to keep it up? Her first year in the WNBA, she might have had a little bit of a tough transition heading into that first year. But she came out with title of Rookie of the Year, and she set records in three-pointers and assists, all as a rookie. So now she's heading into her second year, and the expectations for her are just as high. And, you know, I'm hoping that, you know, we'll continue to see these packed arenas, people coming out to see women's sports, because she's made such an impact on bringing women's sports into the spotlight and, you know, not just men's sports, really increasing the viewership, which can lead to more sponsorship and brand deals for female athletes and increase their salaries, all positive things to see for women's sports.
Amazing, amazing. Wow. Oh, have you met her in person?
I would love to meet her. You know, I know the publisher has sent her a copy of the book. I hope she enjoys it. But you know, I would love to meet her in person someday, or even just get to chat with her. It would be amazing.
All right, very good. Where can our viewing audience purchase your book?
So you can visit my website, which is sarahweisswriter.com. That's SARAWEISS, writer.com. Sarah Weiss Writer is also my handle on Instagram. But you can purchase the book anywhere books are sold, online at your local bookshop. And it comes out tomorrow, April 22nd, where I'm really excited.
Terrific. Great. Thank you so much, Sarah. It was really nice meeting you here online. And
So nice to meet you.
I wish you good luck, and please keep us updated with your projects.
I definitely will. Thank you so much for having me. I really, really appreciate it.
Thank you so much. All right. Have fun.
Thank you. You too. Take care.
Okay, bye.
Bye.
At maraming salamat po sa inyong panonood. Ako po si Veronica. Enjoy your weekend. Bye.
It's more fun in the Philippines.
Magandang hapon po sa inyo lahat and welcome to Veronica's segment of the show. Today, I have a very interesting and very popular, respected and renowned individual in our community. This woman is really very interesting, and she has been doing a lot of work in humanitarian contributions through medical mission. Her name is Miss Nora Chai. Do you know her? It's very
Good afternoon, people. Good afternoon, Vero.
Hi, Nora. Welcome to our show.
Thank you for this.
You have been around the community, the Filipino-American community of Chicago, and you are really doing a wonderful work out there serving the community.
Thank you.
And that work is as a medical missionary. Ms. Nora has been doing medical missionary work through the years. And let's hear from her because she's on her way to retirement, she's saying, and through all this work. Hi, Nora. Welcome to our show.
Hi, Cprtv. Thank you for giving me this privilege to be interviewed about our project in the Philippines.
Yes,
Thank
I'm
you.
very thankful that you are gracing our show today. Nora, okay, can you please share with us um, some of the exciting and interesting experiences that you've done through medical mission?
Well, actually, this dream of being able to help marginalized kababayans started when after graduation, I worked at the USC Charity Hospital in the pediatric section of the hospital. And I saw the poverty and the need of the people because they didn't have money to cover the expenses in the hospital. And I promised that if I will be lucky in the future to have the kind of funding, I'll be able to help them. And that's how it began. My commitment with the Philippine Medical Association of Chicago started in 2005. So that would be 25 years. So I've been joining their mission through the years. And then, of course, I adapted other projects and we did outreach projects with my family members on a smaller scale. And it just, I guess, got bigger, better, and the more fulfilling for the family. So, and the last one was actually after we had an accident in 2018, and I did promise because we were survivors that I would do payatas, which was in my bucket list, anyways, and Baseco. So I was able to do that. Baseco was this year in February 16, 2025. And I think promises that I gave out to friends that I would do the mission, it has been fulfilled. And I think that's going to be my last one because I'm already going to be 80 this year.
Well, yes, because you've been doing it through the years, and maybe you are really getting sick. I mean, really tired of doing this.
Oh, it's time for me to attend to our personal stuff, at home and even start downsizing, I guess, and start moving and make life simple.
As a professional, you are a nurse.
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that.
You'll
The
be
bachelor's
working
degree.
as a nurse. And that's why you are doing a medical mission in your.
Oh, yes, I forgot to mention that. Yeah, I have a bachelor's degree from University of Santo Tomas. And I did work throughout in the ICU, CCU area of, in nursing. That's what I primarily did with my profession. Anyways, but then I sort of just joined the registry when I married Fred, so I was just registry or part-time through the years, maybe like working 2 days a week or once a week just to keep my license in order.
All right. And so out of your retirement is when you thought of doing this philanthropic work actually. And and this is just for the Philippines or what? Have you done other countries for your medical missions?
Not really. I was going to join the Bolivia group, but for some reason it did not happen. But my heart also was if I have to go to another country, I would rather go to the Philippines and touch different areas in the Philippines because we really, really need help. I mean, the people do need help as far as medical, surgical, even dental, even as simple as circumcision. There's just so much that the Filipino people can benefit from doing the mission in our country.
I think you're still young to retire from what you're doing.
I'm going to be 80 this year.
You're still young. Yeah, look at you. You still look so pretty.
We will still continue to contribute, participate, but nothing big anymore because this last one was actually our Thai medical, dental, and surgical mission, and it was really, it was successful and it was really big. And but I was lucky because we had a lot of good, dynamic donors and volunteers. So I couldn't have done it without them anyway. So it was really very fulfilling and a good experience, a very good experience for the family members who joined us, which is our children and grandchildren.
Yeah, you also
So
involve your children and in-laws, right?
yes, yes, yes. Even our 4 years old was distributing goods, and she was just became a different person. She's usually throw a temper tantrum, but in the mission, none of that. She was going around distributing goodies, snacks, loaf of bread. She was just simply happy doing it. And she asked me if I'm gonna do the mission again. Not not that she knows what mission really means, but she did ask me if we can do it again.
That's
So
very nice. A very good example to show your children and grandchildren how to help other people. And
yeah, I hope so. I hope so.
you have mentioned a little
That they
while.
will continue that.
Very good.
So, anyways, yeah, it is a good feeling that you know. Actually, the I always say the phrase, and Brian actually wrote it down in the book that they wrote for about the mission, and I would summarize it by saying, this mission, even if you do the medical, giving the medicines, or well, the dental, which is good, but the surgical is more of a life-changing procedure for the kids because of the cleft lip or upper palate or removal of the tumor. And the goods distribution for me is actually just temporary in the sense that you just give them a good day for one day. And I always say it's like a speck of light that we are able to give to our kababayans because their lives they're living is dark. They're in the dark, And but for the people, they really what do you call it? A yearning for like food. So that one day doing the goods distribution is like fiesta for them. And to me, it's a speck of light that I give them to those lives who are in the dark. A lot of the children even go through garbage to look for food. So when you give them something good, like even simple carne norte, they'd say, sarap lola, kasi mas masarap kaysa sa basura. That I was told to me by a girl, and I always remember that.
Okay. Talking, you were talking earlier about these places that you went to, the Maseco and the Payatas. Can you please explain to our viewing audience what these places are in the Philippines?
Okay, make it quick. Payatas is known as the Smoky Mountain. Payatas was a garbage dump, and it became so huge, it's like a mountain or mountain hill. And a lot of the people do live on the base of the garbage, or most of them would live on top of the garbage because that is their source of livelihood. They do recycling, and a lot of them just live on top of the garbage dump. So it was emitting methane, so that's why they called it Smoky Mountain. But one day it erupted and then buried a lot of people. From what I understand, 700 people were buried alive, and that is Payatas. The garbage now has been moved to Montalban, so they have cleared up that area and it's fenced. So I don't know what the project is going to be for that one. And then Baseco is actually, I really don't know the details, but it's called Bataan Shipping Engineering Company, which was started by the Marcoses. And I guess it was maybe a dockyard, a shipping, or I don't know, maybe Philippines was doing business in Asia, or maybe I was even thinking maybe that was the time they were doing something with the Bataan project. And but then when Cory Aquino came into power, she sequestered the whole area. Then eventually, when the time for former President GMA, she sequestered, I'm sorry, Cory Aquino sequestered, and then GMA took it back and then opened up the area for our kababayans to be able to reside there. I guess I don't want to use the word squatter, but they were allowed to live there, for free. So there was an influx of a lot of people from the south, and it became a residential community. But it is now the biggest poor urban community in the Philippines, Baseco. Or they have port area and they have also Tondo. That's Baseco.
Is there some kind of a kind of a hill or mountain that they built or to live in?
No, Payatas, no. It was all garbage dump. That's why it became parang, hindi naman mountain, but just, a big amount, tall amount, many garbage disposals from different places. And so it became like a hillside. Now, Baseco, no, there's no mountain, or it's not a garbage dump area, but it's more residential area that it was open for the people of the Philippines to stay for free. So people came all over from the north, actually marami from Mindanao and the Visayas area.
And their daily living is by rummaging through the basura.
Yeah, the Baseco people, sorry, Payatas people, yes. That was their livelihood. They went through the garbage, and then they'll collect like plastic bottles, paper goods, that's being recycled. And of course, a lot of them, because they're hungry, they do search for food, leftover. So narinig mo yung, ano bang tawag doon, where they get the leftovers and then they stir fry it and then they sell it, or that's their food for the day. I forgot the term that they use, but they collect all the leftover food, like extra food from, McDonald's, Jollibee. Oops, sorry, I'm mentioning them, but something like that. I think you know the term, but anyway, so that was their livelihood.
I see. So, well, helping people like this, I'm sure really it makes a tug in your heart, and I really don't know how you could do it all these years, but must really be your humanitarian heart to be helping.
Yeah, it started many years ago, and actually I was able to involve the kids, and we did small scale outreach, doing Hospicio de San Jose orphanage, and I took them also to some poor areas like even Tondo, and we did also Gawad Kalinga, which is in Bulacan and Parañaque, and I am proud to say that we were able to help and build 50 homes for the people dislodged from the river of Marikina. And they were transferred to Towerville, which during our time, I think it's Sapangpalay. And those things happen without plans. It just happened. I guess I was meant to go back there and do something, because I did go to Sapangpalay when I was in senior year of my nursing profession.
What
Anyway.
what tips can you give to our viewing audience or for those people who want to follow your footsteps?
Oh no. um, Many times I also say, what am I doing here? You know, when you do this charity work in the Philippines, it's like I've asked myself too, what is the government doing about this? You know, but if you really look around, even the United States, we do encounter homeless people. So putting that aside, I just thought I will just do the best I can to be able to make a difference in someone's life. Never mind about politics, government, or whoever. That is my personal agenda with Fred and my family. And because it is a satisfying experience, it just so meaningful. You know, I can't explain it to you, but to see a smile of a kid who was eating like the small amount of pancit we gave him, it's so hard to describe. Indescribable feeling. Happy. I'm really happy. Actually, that's why for many years I really don't talk about our charity project with for the most part with the other people.
Well,
I just want to do it as I call that, diba, we have purpose in our lives, you know. And when we had an accident, I think something was telling me that I have to give back more because we survived and we are alive. So.
All right, very good. Dora, I know you're
Yes,
very
ma'am.
I thank you for gracing our show today. So we're running out of time. And I congratulate you for doing the good deed that you're doing for the people of our community in the Philippines. And also, I've heard that you're going to be the recipient of the Humanitarian Award in this upcoming
I don't know about that. I don't know if I will qualify. It's
Congratulations
okay.
ahead of
Reward
time.
or no reward, I will continue.
I want to tell our viewing audience that Nora was a recipient of our the Viatime Cprtv Hall of Fame twice already. And the last one was she was the Woman of the Year for the Chicago Filipino Asian American Hall of Fame. All right, Nora, good luck to you and congratulations.
Thank you for your friendship. Thank you. I'll see you soon.
And more blessings for the coming years for you.
More blessings for all of us. God bless.
Thank you.
This is a prayer and a reminder. All we have is now. Anak, umuwi ka na.
Worldwide this morning, growing concern over a growing health crisis.
The World Health Organization has just declared that this is a pandemic.
Hi. I can't hug you. Don't touch me.
Over the last several days, we have seen peaceful demonstrations.
Protest over police brutality continued here in Austin.
Remember when you started going to college? You came home a liberal?
Dad, please.
That's what we do to you guys in this court.
All these people that we never met and never will meet because of what had happened to them. It's just too much.
The way that our family communicates is not necessarily, it's not great.
What advice would you give for those of us that are struggling?
Deal with it.
I think the norm for our communities has been to just stay silent and keep to your own business.
I could definitely be doing more than I'm doing right now, and I know that others can as well.
What if someone is called from God to be an activist?
I can answer that question.
Shouting revolution, oh wow, breaking each tradition.
You don't believe in the Black Lives Matter movement?
An advocacy group reporting at least 3,800 anti-Asian hate incidents since last March.
I'm kind of conflicted. I'm like, maybe I should move home and be here with them.
I hope that this moment makes you take a step forward and a step together in the right direction.
In order for a subject to not be taboo in our community, there always has to be like someone to start that conversation.
You speak up for me when I can't speak up for myself. And I've seen you do that for other people.
I see a lot of people who just kind of cut off friends and family, and I don't think I can do that. I love my parents.
This is a symbol of our voices. If you look at your neighbors around you, you will see who stands with you, who stands for you.
At least I know that you can stand up. That's the thing I'm so happy about.
We would like to welcome all of you to Baladna Jewelry. We have a very big selection of 21 karat gold jewelry imported from the Middle East, from Dubai, Saudi, and Bahrain. And we have a very big selection of diamond. We offer free financing for 6 months, and we have a layaway system which you can leave your stuff for 3 months. We repair gold and we buy old gold. Welcome to Baladna Jewelry.
Salamat po.
Good afternoon. This is Bridget Karina-Quetter bringing you this week's local news from our community. Celebrating the Secretary of State's 75th annual vehicle show this fall, Illinois Secretary Alexi Giannoulias is highlighting the 70th anniversary of the iconic Chrysler 300. Giannoulias also announced that the vehicle show will take place on Saturday, September 6, 2025, from 10 a.m. to 3:30 p.m. in downtown Springfield. A limited number of commemorative license plates featuring the Chrysler 300 and promoting a vehicle show are now available for $35 per pair until June 10th. Illinois vehicle owners who purchase the plates may display them on their vehicles for up to 60 days before the show, from July 8th to September 6th, 2025. The Secretary of State's vehicle show is a treasured tradition that brings families and enthusiasts together from across the Midwest, Giannoulias said. This year's show celebrates 75 years of classic cars and family fun. We look forward to hosting the event in downtown Springfield so people can take in the sights of our capital and provide a boost to the local economy. As tariffs on Chinese imports surge to historic highs, new analysis from Investors Observer reveals which U.S. states are most vulnerable to the economic fallout. Here are some key insights from the report. California tops the list, importing almost $123 billion worth of goods from China in 2024, almost triple the amount imported by the next state. Nevada leads in reliance. 26% of its total imports come from China. Tennessee's Chinese imports represent 22% of its GDP, the highest among all states. The least reliant states, Montana, Alaska, and Wyoming, show how rural, resource-driven economies are more insulated. The Chicago chapter of OCA Asian Pacific American Advocates, OCA Greater Chicago, is pleased to once again host the 2025 AAPI Restaurants Week. This will be their 4th annual AAPI Restaurants Week, featuring food establishments in both Chicago and the suburbs from owners of AAPI descent, taking place May 16th through the 25th, 2025. The purpose of AAPI Restaurants Week is to support AAPI-owned restaurants and celebrate AANHPI Heritage Month through one thing that brings people together: food. This year, we have almost 60 AAPI-owned restaurants, bakeries, cafes, pop-ups, etc., some new and some returning, offering a variety of cuisines from all over the world. World leaders and Catholic faithful bade farewell to Pope Francis in a funeral Saturday that highlighted his concern for people on the most peripheral of the peripheries and reflected his wishes to be remembered as a simple pastor. Though presidents and princes attended the Mass in St. Peter's Square, prisoners and migrants welcomed Francis's coffin at his final resting place in a basilica across town. According to Vatican estimates, some 250,000 people flocked to the funeral Mass at the Vatican, and 150,000 more lined the motorcade route through downtown Rome to witness the first funeral procession for a pope in a century. They clapped and cheered Papa Francesco as his simple wooden coffin traveled aboard a modified Pope Mobile to St. Mary Major Basilica, some 3.5 miles away. Festival of Cultures on May 17th and 18th, where they will savor exotic tastes, listen to the traditional sounds of ethnic music, and experience the many cultures, languages, and traditions that make up the Skokie community. Not only will visitors to the festival experience a huge cultural pavilion, said festival chairperson Erin Fletcher, attendees will also enjoy 2 days of ethnic folk music and dance, a wide range of food and merchandise vendors. Skokie's unique cultural journey launches at Oakton Park in Skokie and will kick off when visitors receive their free passport to the world, the official guide to all festival happenings. The passport will include a festival map, which will help attendees make their way through the park full of attractions. The Illinois Gaming Board adopted proposed new rules at its April 24, 2025 meeting, including a prohibition on the use of credit cards to fund sports wagering accounts to further support responsible gambling. When legal sports wagering began in Illinois in March 2020, sports betting was authorized in 13 other states, and none prohibited the use of credit cards to fund sports wagering accounts. Since that time, the industry has significantly evolved, and today sports betting is legal in 40 states. At the 5-year mark of sports wagering in Illinois, IGB staff is reviewing current sports wagering practices and rules to measure effectiveness and identify potential areas for adjustment. As part of our review, we determined that prohibiting the use of credit cards to fund sports wagering accounts is a justified and impactful advancement in Illinois sports wagering, said Illinois Gaming Board Administrator Marcus Cprtv. That's all for today. Thank you for watching our news this week. This is Bridget. See you next time.
Yan! Dito na!